Good afternoon and welcome to Darcy Street for round 3 NPL Tasmania action. We've got a cracking tie in store for you this afternoon. South Hobart taking on the Glenorchy Knights. It's early days in the season, but both these sides have shown promising signs that they could well push on for the league title in 2020. With such a short season, every game is of the utmost importance, and this one absolutely a big opportunity for both sides to really continue their early push. South Hobart, 2 wins from their first 2. The Knights, well, they're 1 win and 1 loss. A bit of a hiccup week 1 away to Kingborough. Created plenty of chances, couldn't take them last week. They took their chances and downed Olympia in some style. The intriguing fixture, this one made all the more interesting by the presence of I think 4 former South Hobart players in the Knights lineup today. We'll go through that in a moment. But joining me to call the action this afternoon is Paul Hunt. Hunty, it was a lovely day about 20 minutes ago. Not quite so now, but still reasonable conditions for football.
Yeah, it's not too bad here. I've been since about half time at the Champ 1 game. It's been glorious here at Darcy Street, a word we don't often use. And now that familiar afternoon winds come up, pretty much favouring those going to the right-hand side. So away to the left, if they start hitting any high balls, they are going to hold up in the air, which doesn't really suit either team's style of play either, which is a good thing. South Hobart coming in on top of the table, a position we're used to seeing them in, but with plenty of youngsters and a couple of important outs. Andy Brennan obviously only lasting a half, or just under a half last week, suspended for this game, and Kobe Kemp, who we think has come up all right, but certainly sustained a pretty nasty injury last week. And it'll be an interesting encounter here. Knights obviously winning against South Hobart at the end of last season, so it's still one of the teams that have knocked off South at Darcy Street as well, something we don't see very often. I reckon we're in for a pretty good game here this afternoon. Two teams, as you mentioned, probably title challengers as well, particularly with South Hobart bringing over the entire defensive line of South almost for this season. As we may run through the teams today. Coming up shortly, something we didn't quite get time for in the women's game last Sunday and nearly forgot that we do this beforehand. South Hobart coming in with plenty of youngsters as we can see. So Sam Berezanski, Casper Hallam, Tobias Savinen, who we'll see at fullback. Rumours of him running a new salad for this week, which is something I'm personally a big fan of. Kobe Kemp has pulled up okay. Apparently it was just bone bruising was his injury rather than anything too serious. The American PK, Patrick Kibler, marshalling the defence. Laka Seljak really held down a position in the centre of the park. And the evergreen Mark Boncoeur, who some of his saves last week against Zebras were top-notch, showing that cat-like acrobatic ability he has and why he's still in the back of the net for South Hobart. Nick Morton, Riley Morton and Sam Toos as well, who's been in good goal-scoring form so far at the start of this season. On the bench, got Tay Evans, reserve backup keeper Michael Hurd, as Nathan Reeves suffered a concussion last week, so unable to make his way on the bench. Samson Juju and Thomas Walpole. Juju just played most of the game in the game beforehand as well, so he's certainly fresh and warm. As we'll now look at the Knights team, Andrew.
Yeah, moving on to the Knights, and up top there, the magic man, Alessandro Bellini, had a lovely assist last week. I think Tom Young was at least 3 yards offside, but didn't detract from the silk of the build-up from the magic man. Jack Bowman at the back, one of the former South Hobart players. He, along with Connor Schmidt, Oscar Thomas and Alex Walter, 4 players who were key members of the South Hobart team in years gone by, a return to Darcy Street today. So expect plenty in there. Tyler Harrison back in the starting lineup today. I think a partnership with Oscar Thomas at the back has potential to be a pretty imposing one. I assume that means Jack Bowman will get shifted back outside to fullback. Lachlan Hart, an up and down first 2 weeks from him. A disappointing week 1, but then really bounced back, and I think they'd be pleased with the way he responded, saving a penalty last week against Olympia. Jordan Muller, one of the most reliable midfielders in the business. Leading the attack will be Nicholas Naden, with Joffrey Nkoso and Alex Walter joining him from wide areas. There's some serious talent in that attack. Connor Schmidt will probably be the other fullback, probably left back, you'd imagine him. Jack Bowman right back. And Thomas Young has played a pretty attacking midfield role, a very versatile player. He plays centre back, striker, central mid, stick him wherever you want, a real utility suppose you'd probably put him and Jaden Hay in a similar category there. Just players you can just kind of insert into various spots in the lineup. On the bench, Harry Anderson, Ryan Backhouse. And, oh, boy, the coach has just chucked himself on. James Sherman, just with the championship team away today, decided he's going to put himself amongst the subs. Pretty unlikely we see him, but can't rule out the possibility, and that's exciting. The Sherman tank might just go play a coach, roll himself on for a 90th minute free kick. That could be very exciting indeed. Kate Smith rounding out the Knights lineup. Two pretty talented teams, two teams that look to play in a pretty positive attacking manner. Are we expecting goals from this one, Paul?
Well, I certainly think we are. When you've got someone with the goal-scoring prowess of Alex Walter and Joffrey Nkoso on one side, I reckon the Knights are certainly likely to score a couple here. It's almost whether the young guns of South Hobart can keep up. We saw Twos get a double here against Launceston City 2 weeks ago, and Casper Hallam on the score sheet last week, so they've certainly got the firepower. It's just, can they get past the sheer size and strength of Glenorchy Knights' defence, going pretty big and strong with Bowman, Thomas, Harrison and Schmidt across the back line. They're going to have to try and run around them rather than through them, the South Hobart attack, and I think that's where this game will be won or lost. Can they sort of manoeuvre that Knights defence around enough to create some goal scoring opportunities, or whether Knights will be able to keep strong at the back and then use that electric pace they've got up front of the King of the Andals, Joffrey Nkoso, and Alex Walter, who I think is primed for a big game against his former side. I think he's been a South Hobart boy all his life, as Alex Walter. So it'll be on him coming into the match from the away dressing rooms, as it will be for a few other of those players. And I think slightly stick my neck out in the line here. I think I'm expecting goals and maybe even a Knights victory here this afternoon, which is something I don't think I've ever done, is predicted South Hobart not to win at Darcy Street, which is dangerous in itself.
Yeah, very dangerous areas, but I think I'm tempted to join you, although the presence of Kobe Kemp could change things. I was initially leaning Knights under the impression he was out. I've fallen for some classic misdirection there. Brilliant, as per usual, from South Hobart, keeping the cards close to their chest. Kobe will be right to play. So with that, I might revise it from a 3-2 Knights win to a 2-2 draw and just sit firmly on the fence.
Yeah, I'm going at least 3 goals in this game. As Ken Morton looked like he's getting rather sunburnt there walking out onto the ground. As you see the Knights getting ready in their lovely new black away strip. First time seeing that one for the season. Quite a nice number, that one, with the checkerboard pattern hidden underneath, just at the displaying the Croatian roots there. I'm a big fan of that one from the Knights. Probably not as big a fan of the keeper kit clash we got going on, but you know, green appears to be the in thing in keeper kit fashion lately. So there's finally seeing the return of the ball plinth as well here to South Hobart, obviously with some modified pre-game arrangements, no handshakes, things like that. Stratos Plumeritis just picking the ball up and casually walking to midfield, as I believe we're finally likely to get things back to normal here in NPL of a delayed kickoff. Worries that the 2 p.m. kickoff was actually going to happen at 2 o'clock. Luckily that's back to normal, as just looking at Coach James Sherman has inserted himself on the bench, but I wouldn't say he's terribly dressed in team colours. If he is likely to put himself on, it's definitely going to be the last 10 minutes, as he looks like he's going out for a jog rather than a football match anytime soon. Yeah,
I don't think we'll be seeing the Sherman tank, but the possibilities there were they to suffer 3 or 4 injuries. Probably hope to avoid that one also. But Tyler Harrison, the skipper of the Knights today, Kobe Kemp will lead South Hobart. Stratos Plumeritis, our man in the middle. Emma Hall and Alistair Cook running the lines. So round 3 in the NPL Tasmania set for kick-off here. It's been a very interesting season so far. Through the 8 games, no blowouts really in any of them, and the majority of the games you could say, if one little event had just occurred a little bit differently, then the opposite result could easily have transpired in pretty much every game this year. It's been really compelling viewing so far, so hopefully more of that this afternoon.
Yeah, it certainly has been a feature so far. You know, when you got a team that was almost one of the favourites to win currently in last in Olympia. And then Lonnie City down there as well, who pushed South Hobart the other week. So really enjoying this even, condensed 8-team tournament as we're underway here at Darcy Street. The ball back to Kobe Kemp, and that one is a shank off the shin pad from Kemp. Walters pass slightly misplaced. Will go as far as Morton. Immediately surrounded by Naden and Bellini.
It's a luscious mullet of Riley Morton.
Really is. It's definitely winning salad of the competition so far. He's seen him walking in earlier, almost even got it trimmed at the sides as well, which we're a fan of. So we're also a fan of Joffrey and Koso on the ball, getting it to Walter. He's got Naden on the overlap. He's got plenty of space. There's Nick Naden. Decides to jink inside onto the left, and Kibler was going to leave that one for the keeper, but elects not to. Bowman coming across. And then again, Geordie Muller once again. So some good early attacking intent from the Knights so far.
Kemp being tracked by Bellini in there. Looks like Alex Walter, the man leading the line at the moment. South Hobart look to attack their speedster Casper Hallam. Has scored 2 in his first 2 games, 1 in each. And he's paced to get him behind, causing plenty of problems. As you see Berezanski pushing up into a more attacking role this week as the Knights look to win the ball back. Nothing doing, according to the referee there. A little bit unlucky for mine. Still down on the ground is Thomas Young. And he's now just asking the question.
Live, I don't see how that's not a foul. Maybe replays will prove to be wrong otherwise. Still down on the ground as it is a loose touch from the defender. I mean, he's clearly got in first there, as there's no other way the ball could go in that direction for mine.
Yeah, I think he can consider himself a little bit stiff there, Tom Young, and a little bit sore too, judging by his rather ginger getting up off the ground, but hopefully he'll be all right to continue. It's a pretty attacking lineup the Knights have got. Geordie Muller with a more defensive-minded midfielder, but Young and Bellini both very attacking. And you've got Walter, that man, and Koso, who draws the free kick there, and Nick Naden in the wide positions, and Koso just loves to run out, take the defenders on. He knows only one way, and wins his side a free kick here. Chance perhaps for Bellini to get to work.
Yeah, if I was Joffrey and Koso, I'd permanently position myself away from either Havainen or Kibler and just run at the other 2 defenders with the slightly less experience they have.
It's going to be the magic man to bend in a dangerous looking ball, and then Koso heads it wide. A gilt-edged chance there. Supreme delivery from Bellini, and then Koso just can't quite steer his header into the back of the net. That really should have been 1-0, Paul.
That's perfect free kick placement right on the 6-yard line. You've got one of your strikers relatively unmarked, got goal side of his defender, and really you'd expect that one to nestle in the bottom corner. Glorious chance for the Knights early on, but that free kick from the magic man Bellini, it's just one of the reasons why we've given him that nickname up here at Slice of Cheese. Is now Hallam and Sue's exchanging passes. Ball is going out of play on the far side. But Joffrey and Koso surely, I think even himself will say, has to do better from that situation, but he's got the ball again and lays it off to Young, and now Bellini. Now Walter, Naden again with space to run at the defence, going towards the byline. That's knocked away for a corner. Ewan Larby out at left back. He's got a pretty tough task coming up against Naden. And his Knights get another corner. And rare to see an away team at Darcy Street come out and have such territorial advantage early on. As Bellini knocks it short to Nkoso. Crossed in, lofted towards the back post, but a bit too much on that one. Oscar Thomas not quite being able to reach that one. As Connor, also known as Daniel Schmidt, not quite accurate with that one. Now, attacking down the right through Havainen. Inside to Laka Seljak. Larby jinking inside. Doesn't have a whole range of options. Has got 2s Does very well against the big mismatch, but surrounded by 4 Knights players. Has clipped Geordie Muller pretty blatantly late there. Some on the Knights bench calling for an early card. Not quite sure that was there, but certainly an early rake of the studs. Really gets a talking to on this occasion. Long switch of play from Harrison. Right to the feet of Joffrey Nkoso. His heavy touch eludes him. And now Thomas. Back towards Nkoso, who should win the throw in here, and does. That matchup against Devine, certainly a key one. We'll just expect him to jink inside and look to attack Riley Morton as well. At some stage, there's Bellini. And Schmidt. Kemp manages to do that one, but just interesting with South Hobart. They have a really obvious screening midfielder in this game. Obviously Morton and Kemp and Lakaseljic will kind of rotate that duty, but I do think they're missing the like of Luke Farrell so far this season. Walter with the snapshot is deflected away for a corner. Just finishing that point. Yeah, I think South Hobart, it's probably well, they've got plenty of youth up front and you can use that to your advantage. Just another more experienced holding midfielder I think could be an advantage for him in a game like this.
Yeah, especially against such an attacking midfield such as Knights possess. Smolini with a low one, doesn't get past the first defender. Should be dealt with here, although poor clearance straight to Joffrey Nkoso. Trying to go between the legs. Now retreats to Muller, just a little pitching wedge up and under. Lands in the box. Naden, good strength from Nick Naden, gets a cross in. Repelled away. Thomas Young in there. Eventually Kemp clears it, but they can't clear the area. Connor Schmidt doesn't mind a long-range shot. He was blocked off, but he'll get another chance to get him behind. Eventually the throw in, but it is all Glenorchy Knights doing the attacking here. Perhaps the aid of the wind at their backs playing a role in it. You'd imagine this would be the end. It'll be easier to score out this afternoon. As this one's volleyed in. Cleared away there by Nick Morton. It'll take me a while to get used to the number 10 on Nick Morton this year. Number 7 for so long. Berezanski. He seems to have shot up another 3 foot the last few for the COVID lockdown. He's wearing the number 7 these days for South.
I certainly think he's had the biggest growth spurt in COVID out of any NPL player. He's not quite at Oscar Thomas level, but I reckon he's grown at least 6 inches over that time. As into the sun, Ewan Larby's lost that one, and Naden should just about keep it in. Cross only as far as Kibler. There's Morton with the nice flick to Berezanski. Really run out of touchline, gets past Bowman. There should be enough Knights players back to deal with that one. Pressuring the keeper as twos. And towards Nkoso. Good to see Tyler Harrison make his return to the team. Is now Nkoso looking to run at Morton. He's got a couple of players up ahead. One is Young. Nkoso with the cross. That's high wide and not so handsome from the king of the Andals. Fall out for a goal kick, but South, I think, have had probably 4 touches in their attacking half so far in the first 8.5 minutes. It's something you're used to seeing at Darcy Street. Encore takes the shortest goal kick of the season. Searching ball, looking for Hallam, but that one's just going to roll out of play, and they're looking a bit slow out of the blocks, South Hobart. Throw in from Schmidt. Down towards Nkoso, who's clearly held back there from Havainen. Calls for a slice of cheese, which the referee will not eat. Just a quick talking to from referee Plomaridis. Bellini will come across to take. Casper Hallam's now getting back somewhere close to the required 10 metres. That's still probably 7. As Bellini looks in the Nkoso direction. Well cleared by Havine, and now Hallam has a chance to run down the wing, but he'll run out of real estate before both he and his cheer squad can get too excited. Now Bellini to Nkoso. Knights attack down the right. Harrison, crossfield ball to Nkoso. Havine in 2 minds. It'll get to the feet of Nkoso, who's offside. Those coach-killing decisions there from Nkoso. Really got to make sure, at minimum, you stay onside from that position. Nothing really happening. You're just straight offside, so you can't do the one-on-one. Thomas clearly going to win the aerial battle over Sam Twos there. Didn't even have to get off the ground, just leaned over. It's like a giraffe just getting at the leaves as Nkoso will get there. Moncourt thought was going to come for it. Lays it back towards Bellini. Shot! Goal, Bellini! The Magic Man gets the first for the Knights. A very well-deserved finish, crashed into the back of the net.
He's absolutely slammed that home, Bellini, and no less than the Knights deserve for the start they've made here today. They've been in firm control of the game, done all the attacking, and eventually that pressure tells, and Alessandro Bellini with an absolute gem of a finish here. Joffrey Nkoso getting in behind, laid it off for him. Perfect ball there, and Moncourt can't keep that out. That's a thunderbolt from the Magic Man. And the Knights take the lead here at Darcy Street. And we see a response from South Hobart. We'll have to chase this one. And of course, be the first time they've gone behind this season, South. In command against Launceston City before City's late fight back there, and then the 1-0 win last week over the Clebbers over at the Junjun. Oh, dicey pass there. Puts him under pressure again. It's Joffrey Nkoso. It's a tame finish in the end, though. Let off the hook, but South not looking terribly confident out there just at the moment.
This 4 passes they've just strung together. It's probably the first time they've strung 4 passes together so far, as Morton's nearly clipped by about 3 Knights players in the end. Crowded out as Bellini to Walter, who stayed on side. Might be better to leave this one for Naden, and does. Knights playing the ball around well, much to the appreciation of their coach. There's Schmidt. Can't quite find the ball for Young, but Knights, 13 minutes, I reckon 70% possession and about 80% territory so far. They've really not given South Hobart a sniff so far. Ken Morton, he's taken the jacket off on the sideline. He's left the technical area, but still can't do too much. But what can Hallam do here? Casper Hallam running with Muller. Naden tracking back. Cheeky little nutmeg on Naden. That's enough to holding him up. As Kemp hits it to Kibler. Now Larby. Morton in the area where he likes to lurk. Goes towards the back post and just out of the reach of Lakaseljak. And Nkoso gets past one, now trying to use his pace to get past to Vinen, and Toby Vinen does very well for Kemp. Just whacks it clear. Naden with not much on. Walter gets there first and is crunched by PK Patrick Kibler. And will this be a slice of cheese for the American? It's firmly out. Young being told just to step clear. And that was one of the more obvious slices of cheese you're likely to see there from Kibler. Walter's pace just getting in front. It'll be a free kick for the Knights. Did hear the call from someone in the crowd of "Welcome back, Alex," which good banter from the sometimes quieter South Hobart crowd. As Harrison lofts that one towards Thomas, rising high is the Giraffe, and Morton just goes safety first from the keeper. Probably could have claimed that one. Another corner for the Knights. Be at least their fourth for the match. This time it'll be Nkoso to take. Jordy Muller's in a pretty good spot at the top of the box, but it looks like he'll go the conventional route. Naden getting in there. And this time Kemp manages to clear. Bowman coming across. Walter looks to get the cross in, and another corner for the Knights. Still applying the pressure on his home team.
Absolutely all over him at the moment. This is very promising signs from Glenorchy Knights. And James Sherman said last week he was happy with the performance in week one. They just couldn't stick it in the back of the net. But they're showing their chops here. Moncourt with a good strong fist away, and it'll be yet another corner. But I think we can say they've played pretty good football across the first 180 minutes of the season, and certainly here today continuing that. Looked like a pretty well-oiled unit, and they signed some very good players. It's a very formidable squad they've assembled. Here's one of the latest of those signings, and Koso in near post was dipping in on the win there. Moncourt got across to it. Scrapping away is Connor Schmidt. Thomas Young forced it through, but all the way through to the veteran Moncourt. But also I think we definitely can't judge too much until we've seen a bit of the second half, because the wind is starting to howl a little bit here. And you've got to think that's been some factor at least.
I certainly think it's assisted in the Knights, but just the way they've kept on pressuring, I think, has been a real feature of these opening few minutes. Sometimes when you score a goal, you get tempted just to sit back a bit more, but they certainly haven't done that with the Glenorchy Knights. It's a throw-in. We'll go to the Giraffe, Oscar Thomas. The knee from Nick Morton, effective in getting to Berezanski. Naden, fooled by the spin, so was Morton. And way back to Bowman. Can't quite find Walter, but it's just harmlessly cleared into touch. Bowman has shanked that throw in. Gone in the field of play though, so play allowed to continue. Over the head of Harrison. It's a good roll there from Twos. It's only got Hallam ahead. Now looks back for Morton at the top of the box. Nika Seljek over the top. Only one thing on his mind, but it's a team effort in the end from the youngster. Yeah, a goal kick, but at least they've had a sight of South.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was the shot or the fake shot with the drilled pass. So, maybe split the difference in the end. We'll have to have a look on the replay. But South's best moment in attack there, 4.5, showing some signs of life. And Sam Two's just getting him behind. Tyler Harrison misjudging one in the air. Perhaps the wind throwing him off a little bit there. But Two's just able to get him behind. South scored a goal against Alceston City in a similar fashion. Hallam getting in behind Rosetto with just a long ball that floated over the top. But the quick wheels of these South Hobart attackers does allow them in behind the lines as Larby spreads that one back to Moncourt. Calmly away. Just work down the line. Showed a little bit too much of it to Schmidt, but Lakaseljak did nicely. Now Casper Hallam can have a run at the defence for just about the first time today. And in the end, his former teammate, the Giraffe, Oscar Thomas, saw his thread off, and that's a back header that's put Morton under the cosh there. He's done really well. Riley Morton had Walter and Koso bearing down on him. Well done, Riley Morton saves the day there, but they're playing with fire at the moment, South. And Nick Naden weaves between two silkily and now turns towards goal. It's Naden, it's shut down nicely by Kibler. No, the danger has not yet passed. Nick Naden recycling it out the back to Tyler Harrison. Knights were firmly in control, but a rather sloppy pass there. Just lets them off the hook.
Lovely bit of dribbling skill there from Nick Naden. Had two South players in front and found the minuscule seam gap in between and just threaded it perfectly. Unfortunately, couldn't find a teammate at the end of it. There's throw looking for Kemp. They'll gain a bit of distance, South. Only Kemp really calling for it and goes in that direction, but Bellini had his number. Naden should look up, and unfortunately no one making the through ball. Everyone had dropped short. On court, coming well out of his box. In the end, just rolls it to Lakaseljak. Now Morton, the flowing mullet in the wind. It's a long raking ball as far as Thomas. Now Nkoso, Young making a good run. So is Walter, but he may have just overhit that one slightly. Larby to clear. Berezanski to Morton. Now twos. Lakaseljak with Bellini bearing down, and maybe just the thought of the Magic Man just put him off his pass there slightly.
Yeah, there's been a few misplaced passes. As Kobe Kemp leading the forward press now, bobbing up in an advanced spot. Fairly interchangeable midfield group, I would say. So the Knights again look to attack down the flanks. Connor Schmidt. If he can put some recent injury troubles behind him and get as full a season as we can have in this compromise year, because he's a fantastic little player, Connor Schmidt, one of the best fullbacks in the state. Certainly made his name here at South Hobart and now part of a Knights defensive unit, which is largely South Hobart alumni, with the exception of Tyler Harrison there. And they return to do the damage against their former side so far. And well on top. And South searching for a response. Vinan put Morton under pressure, and Joffrey Nkoso will track this one down in time, but just lost his footing. In the end, Morton probably had a bit more time than he realised as he steered it behind for the corner. But Nkoso, Walter Naden, they're sweating all over those defenders from South, and it's causing some rather panicked decisions at the moment, especially Joffrey Nkoso. He's closing down with that speed of his. He's really dialing up the pressure on them. Another set piece here. The onslaught continues for the Knights as we tick towards the halfway mark of the first half. Moncourt again with a strong fist away. And another corner coming up.
We're keeping corner stats today because there's been a heap of them. I reckon we're at least 8 after 22 minutes. Bellini.
This will be their 7th.
7th. Casually strolling over to take this one. Still yet to put one on the head of the obvious target in Oscar Thomas. With this wind, always likely to curl pretty close to the keeper. As Bellini puts another one in that area, over the top of the head of Moncourt. And he did get a touch to that. Another corner for Knights. Really getting a sense of how well they've been working on their set pieces here so far. As Nkoso, more loft on this one. There is at the back post, Bellini, and another corner for Knights.
It's a barrage. An absolute siege here.
They cannot get out of their own 18-yard box at the moment, South.
Bellini's been delivering them pretty well too, not wasting them. And he sends in another one, and right on cue, he finally does waste one. I'll take the blame for that one, sorry Magic Man. It was always bound to happen, wasn't it? But there's a real focus on the in-swinger, trying to put it right up there, inside the box there, and test the keeper out. There's been a clear direction, I would have thought, from Sherman on that.
I mean, really good, acrobatic keeper, close range is Moncourt, but he's not the tallest keeper in the league by any stretch of the imagination, so clearly been working on that as Young just got enough sauce on that header. And Nkoso wanting to run it with the opposing players, but run into a brick wall that is Nick Morton. Now Berezanski. Ball, I assume, that did not come off Geordie Muller. He's just hit that one straight out of play. Thomas. And as far as Harrison, striding forward from centre back. Naden can get that ball under control. The wind does pick up a bit more here at Darcy Street. Maybe tactic of South, if they can just hold on to one goal, maybe use that wind to their advantage in this second half. Will still certainly be considered in this game. But right now, barely been able to get the ball in this type of area as Larby aiming for twos. Muller getting in there, so is Naden. Pinball going on as Morton will just about get away from Bowman. Now it's Berezanski. Thomas getting in there, misses a shot on goal. Great save! Lockie Hart, quick reflexes in the goal for Knights. Had to get down low. Left palm keeps it at 1-0.
That's a tremendous reaction save from young Lockie Hart. Top tier keeping there. And South Hobart's first chance of the game was really well worked, and that's the threat they posed. They've barely had a sniff for 26 minutes. Could have been all level, and then would have the wind to their back in the second half. So the Knights need to be careful at the back. So conceded 2 to the Lions in week 1, and against Olympia last week it ended 3-1, but the Warriors certainly had some chances. Hart made a great save on Ryan. There was one that pinballed around the box and somehow stayed out. It's a close range miss on the header from Ryan, so they did give up a few chances. So the looks at goal you'd expect will come for South Hobart, but right now it's the Knights back on the attack through Nkoso. Ended up just deceiving himself with the trickery in the end. Stayed on the ball pretty well though, stuck to his task. Bellini, Muller, and the flag goes up on Alex Walter. Alastair Cook on the line there.
Yeah, it did look live even from our not perfect angle as Walter was running back from an offside position. But as you mentioned, Andrew, that is what South can do. They're never really out of a game, South. They have that great kind of inbuilt spirit where, especially at Darcy Street, you always feel like they're good for a goal or a comeback. There's Larby, back to Kibler. His pass goes to no one in particular as Oscar Thomas has plenty of time to play it forward. Now Bellini. Magic Man looking for Walter. Gets it to Naden. Only Young really in the box. And Mulcair will prevent a corner on that occasion. Rolls it out to Kemp. Now, Riley Morton. Wouldn't mind him seeing charging forward more, just to mainly see that mullet flow in the wind. There's Hallam. Good dummy. Muller just fires that one into his own teammate. And there's Kemp. Keeps the ball moving. Larby to Berezanski. Lovely bit of skill from the youngster. Now has like a cell check. Shoot ball towards twos. Harrison clears. Oh, well done from Hallam! And Casper Hallam makes it 3 goals in 3 games. Getting South back on track. Managed to get it in front of the defender, and he is in fine goal scoring form at the moment. It's really the second shot that South Hobart have had all game. Only really been in their own 18-yard box 3 times. But Knights not quite using the territory to their advantage. This time it was Harrison's header, and Hallam just stealing it in. Not much Lockie Hart can do there. He's made himself big. That one was drawn South level. And probably, in terms of territory and possession, haven't quite deserved it, but just these last couple of minutes have at least looked a bit more threatening. There's Larby. Gets that one. Great little touch from twos. Falling Bowman to fall over, and then the back heel only goes as far as Naden. Kibler quite getting the purchase on that one. The Knights look to try and get back in this one. The player Bowman to take this throw. It's almost a foul throw for foot, and it is. I was going to say, if I can spot a foul throw from 40 yards away, I'm assuming the AR was going to get that from about 2 metres away. As that one's charged down from Walter, keeping him boxed in. Larby throwing that one towards twos. Harrison sitting off, allowing Bowman to come back. He wants to throw and gets it and steals at least 6 yards, but now is overruled by his assistant referee. I thought the centre referee was potentially in a better spot there than the AR. That one will go South's way as Harrison clears. Like a Seljak. Getting that one behind Toby Havainen. South at least looking a bit more positive as this match is worn on. Muller. He's set Schmidt a task and he's just kept it in. There's Connor Schmidt coming up against his former teammate. And Havainen winning out on this occasion. So South with the chance to get this one forward should Morton decide to. Instead goes short to Laka Seljak. Pass will find twos, who's actually just the roll eluding him. Naden, lovely bit of skill to get around the fullback and shepherd it out of the way. Knights getting the free kick, but Coach Sherman still imparting some wisdom to the referee. There's Harrison launching this one to the top of the 18, over the head of Muller. This time, Bellini untouched, and that one's deflected towards goal. Bellini almost had time to take a touch there on that occasion. South just pumped that one high in the sky, and as you can tell, that one's held up a fair bit, not even making halfway. Bellini not really going anywhere in particular. It's a delicious pass to Muller. Now Harrison. And Bowman. No free kick given there. Sherman's come out of his technical area to have a nice little word with Nick Morton there. Particularly. And then some more gamesmanship here from Morton. It's what happens when you change teams after a few years together. Actually won some titles down the years, Morton and a few of these Knights players. Just allowing a bit of chippiness to come into this one. It's not a particularly helpful ball up from Berezanski, but unfortunately young Bellini has headed that one out for a goal kick. So 33 minutes gone here at Darcy Street. 1-1 between South and Knights. And you would think Knights probably should be in front.
Yeah, they've had the better of the half, but that's South Hobart for you. It was 2-0 the score at Warrior Park in the Women's Super League, whilst we've finally got kick-off at Valley Road, really taking the delayed start to a new extreme there, kicking off 20 minutes late as the Strikers and Olympia are underway at Valley Road as Toby Havainen on the overlap now. He's got players lining up in the middle for him. Can he pick one out? It might fall for the Morthog! Shot blocked by Bowman. Still going is Morton, shaping to shoot and just finesses one there. No one at the back post. And the danger passes, but South growing into this game. The wind has died down a little bit, but South just starting to strut their stuff and get their confidence a little bit more now after a real barrage. 8 or 9 corners they faced the first 25 minutes, but the goal does seem to have settled them. And right back in this one now. Pretty entertaining game so far. Both teams looking to take the game on, which is always good to see. Muller Just beats out Sam Twos. Bellini has it whisked away from him. Well, Captain Kobe Kemp. Now Ewan Larby on the overlap. He's got Berezanski with him. Larby will go himself. Tries to go outside of Bowman, then left it cleverly for Berezanski. Lunging in with Schmidt. And Muller. Bellini this time gets the better of Kemp, but turns into trouble. Working back was Larby. The South youngsters combining. Berezanski got it from Hallam, but intercepting Muller. Now Walter. Strong, firm, but fair. And then Hallam gives him a little nudge back. The referee just letting him play.
It's the pat on the head afterwards that I enjoyed the most there from Hallam. And half the height of Alex Walter, and just letting him know he's still there. It's, assuming the folks up at Valley Road just ironing out a few kinks, having not had a home game yet so far this season. 3 trips to Devonport in a row for the Strikers faithful. As that one goes along towards Nkoso, who, after a very exciting first 20 minutes, haven't seen a great deal of since. Open game here at Darcy Street is Kemp in for Berezanski. Just his little back here with Larby. They tried that before, about 10 minutes before. It didn't work, but good to see them keep going. As that flick finally worked, is now Nkoso. Chance to run it for Vinen. Dropping the step over is Nkoso. Knocks it back, shot by Schmidt! Top corner from Connor Schmidt on the return to Darcy Street. And the unlikely source has rifled that one in the top corner for 2-1.
Well, the quality of the goals is certainly up here today. Connor Schmidt says, welcome back, Darcy Street faithful, and just pots that one top corner. He's always had an eye for goal as Connor Schmidt. He's not been shy of having a pop from distance. And this is why, again, the footwork of Nkoso. And then as he loses balance, he still fires it in. Moncourt can't get across and keep it out. And Knights restore their lead, which on the balance of play is deserved. But we did say goals were likely here this afternoon between these sides. And so far, that is playing out. Jack Bowman probably should have gone on that one. And an inadvertent handball there from Nick Morton. Easily spotted by the referee, that one. So a little unlucky with the bounce perhaps, but just left the hand dangling out.
I know I said 2-1 at full time tonight. Maybe I should have revised that to a half-time score.
Yeah.
Plenty of goals in this one. Thought that was a push in the back by Morton, not given. Bellini, as far as Naden, trying to get through the seam there this time, but not happening. Now Twos has time to turn and has got Havinen on the overlap. Hallam forward, but he'd made a different run, not quite on the same wavelength as Harrison mops up well to Schmidt. He can score the spectacular Connor Schmidt. Must admit, I wasn't expecting him to pop up in that situation, as that's probably a yellow card being dished out by the referee towards Twos. Muller, the third time he's had a similar challenge happen against him. Just that flick over and the on-rushing player gets him in the ankle. I didn't see too much wrong with that, but maybe the whistle hadn't been blown from the referee. It is what it was, as Thomas now does the same thing, back to Harrison. Calling for options. In the end, well, no matter how many people were calling for it, that one's just kicked straight out of play. There's Larby's stolen a few yards from his throw-in. Down the line towards Lakaseljack. Now Twos. Muller battling away. Will they grab the shirt pull? They will. One Coach Sherman not too happy about.
It's like a Celtic had just peeled off wide, looking for it to be taken quickly. Instead they'll go with the more traditional set piece. Although he's now got Larby in a similar spot, and that's exactly where he heads. So Larby takes on Nick Naden. Puts in a dangerous looking ball, rising to take that one away was Young. Koso beaten by Kemp. He's cross-blocked off though.
Tell you what, that was a striker's challenge from Nkoso there in the box on Kem. He just got his leg out in the right time there, did Nkoso.
Not sure he's really the man you want defending those situations, but I'm sure Sherman would be happy his wing is working back. Probably more noted for his offensive game than defensive Joffrey Nkoso. As Casper Hallam just continues to impress. A goal in all 3 of his games. He's off to a flyer this year. He's Casper, kind of burst onto the scene last year. Saw him in bursts. Had an impact largely off the bench. Worked his way to the starting lineup. And geez, he's emerging as an absolute weapon this year. He's only going to get better and better. Casper Hallam as Nick Morton tries to take 2 on. Couldn't get past Geordie Muller. Harrison retreats back to Lockie Hart. The shadows of half-time here. Sun shining at Darcy Street. Lovely day for football. And a great game so far here. Delighting the crowd in attendance is the mullet of Morton. The poor ball straight to Connor Schmidt. Very loud lid on Toby Hawaiian's scone too, must say. Trying to outdo each other, the South Hobart defenders.
I did receive word of that upon entering the ground that Hawaiian had a new lid, and yeah, it's not disappointing. There's Geordie Muller strong in the challenge. Looks to play it towards Walter. They'll come back for the free kick. But yeah, just on Casper Hallam, I know in this COVID world we live in now, we're not sure of kind of interstate or further transfers, but if he keeps this form up and the world reopens, I don't think he's going to be here much longer. He's Casper Hallam, because he is, I believe, still 17 years old. Maybe 18 at the oldest. But he's got electrifying pace, and now that he's added that eye for goal, he's been a real... Well, he broke out last year, but even more of an influential player so far this year. As the Magic Man hovers over this one. Decides to have a shot, and that's not far away from Alessandro Bellini. It's the casual run-up that kind of fools you. Very lackadaisical, but he's got some good power and direction on that one.
Oh, it wasn't far away. Tremendous technique from the Magic Man there, showing his dead ball prowess. And it was nearly a 3rd spectacular goal. Old Mark Moncure, he's no danger of any cobwebs in those corners at the moment. No cleaning the spiders out. That's well and truly been taken care of as a free kick there. Bowman on Berezanski. Quickly taken. Larby peeling off wide on the left and punches in a dangerous looking ball for Hallam. Couldn't quite control it as he battled with Connor Schmidt. And Joffrey Nkoso has lost his footing a couple of times today when trying to trap the ball. And South Hobart will take the throw in through Toby Havainen. Would love a close-up on that scone at some point if we could. That is a very loud setup. He is rocking. Here's Sam Toos. Hallam, the youngsters combining. Schmidt back in defence, and one is eventually going to roll on out by way of the flag.
I mean, luckily, barring injury or a crazy substitution, we're going to have that setup right in front of us at the grandstand here for all second half. There's the wind now blowing in a certain direction where the sausage sizzle's making its way to the grandstand as well, which is dangerous territory. Lockie Hart looking for the long goal kick, and he got some distance on that one. Whacked in the air by Kibler. Great touch from Walter. Gets around Larby. Walter, time to cross. Looks towards the back post, had numbers there. Picked out, really, the only South Hobart player with 3 knights around. Again, Hallam trying to get around it. The impact of that win, the only goal in the championship game for Lions. The keeper did score the assist for that one, Jake Hayes. Just the rudimentary long ball, but only took about 1 bounce and then got to the 18-yard box. So that win certainly having an impact here.
Yeah, look, 2-1 if that's how it stays at half-time. I don't think South would be too disappointed. They've been outplayed, but they've worked their way back into it. And 1-goal deficit far from insurmountable, because you can see when they've tried to clear the ball, it's just hung in the air, kind of hit that wall of wind. It's going to make life difficult in the second half. And if they can get it back to 2-2, it'll be delighted Ken Morton, but the attack breaks down. But, yeah, I think a bit like you know, the first day green top. Don't judge it till both teams have had a bat. Let's not judge this game too much until we've seen both teams deal with the wind. Harrison, slight miscommunication there with his keeper, and the flag was raised. Someone coming back for an offside position, perhaps.
I'll tell you what, that's bailed out the keeper there, because that held up in the wind to the point where I don't think it was making it into the 18-yard box. Harrison's headed that, standing on the 18-yard line, and with momentum coming forward, could see a handball outside the box happening there. It was cleared by Kibler. Morton just thumps it clear in the twos direction. Bowman gets ahead there first and really ends up in the grandstand.
Absolutely howling right now.
Proper football weather, this. It's Larby. Well, now I'm in fear of the entire sausage sizzle ending up in the grandstand rather than just the smell of it by the looks of it.
Yeah, I hope they got some sandbags on that marquee. The city's starting to really get windy here. Is the Mortog Morton. Can he make something happen just before the half? Bellini nutmegged his own teammate. And then Bowman sent it down the line, and that will be all she wrote for the first 45 here at Darcy Street. Compelling viewing here this afternoon in the NPL Tasmania. Glenorchy Knights, two spectacular goals, one from Bellini and one from Schmidt, both outside the box, picking out the top corner. Have them 2-1 to the good. Casper Hallam equalised, pulling one back there for South. And a very interesting second half in store here. And let's hope more of the same, because that was a really good viewing, Paul.
That first half flew by. I've got to say, there was just wonderful attacking football from both sides. Obviously, Knights with the wind advantage seem to be playing more of the attacking football, but South firmly in this one. As we'll replay the goals for you as well. Bellini's been one of the players of the match so far, and that shot, I don't reckon many keepers are stopping that one. That rifled into the back of the net. South managing to pull one back as well after a period of dominance there from Knights. It's youngster Casper Hallam, 3-3 for the youngster.
It's instinctual, just pounced on it.
What you want from your right winger, just cutting inside, and if he can keep up this scoring record, he's going to have a special season. And it was the Knights getting a second, and Koso weaving his way, and Connor Schmidt, again, similar spot to where Bellini's ended up. It's a handy finish from the left back, and I've got to say, Andrew, it's all to play for in this second half.
Yeah, both teams still in this one. South will have the aid of a pretty strong breeze, so the fight back well and truly on the cards. Knights have looked pretty good here today. Do join us in 10 minutes or so for the second half. Halfway through this one, it's South Hobart 1, Glenorchy Knights 2.
Because there was a tape already, so I think it's fine. Shit. No? Well, is it sort of too tight? Okay, I'll pull it loose.
for the second half here at Darcy Street. Glenorchy Knights leading South Hobart 2-1 after an intriguing first 45, and hoping for more of the same here as we're ready to go. We're getting a very nice look at Toby Havine on a fullback there. And,
the talk of the Darcy Street grandstand.
The grandstand just in awe at the moment. But, we'll see that soon enough as Alex Walter set to kick off. So the wind at South Backs, they're chasing the game. It's Knights leading 2-1. Up at Valley Road, it's 1-0 to Devonport. As this one's headed back down. Muller. Just a heads up. As Schmidt nods it back down into the mix. Thomas, with a little bit of afters there on the twos. They've been scrapping away. Havinen. Morton, clever little ball. Havinen, angling his body pretty well there was Muller. Wins it back as Schmidt finds Bowman. Naden. And Tyler Harrison punches it away. Bellini, clever little ball. In behind for Alex Walter. He's got two in the middle. One of them's Thomas Young. That's where he heads over his head though. And Toby Havinen nods it behind for a corner.
Good. Another corner for the Knights, continuing off in a similar vein to their first half. Here with an early corner. Let's see if they'll have another 8 or 9 in the first 20 minutes. Like that time. Still yet to produce a goal from them. So as Nkoso lofts this one. Volley acrobatically there from Bellini. And that one's sadly closer to the photographer's corner there than the goals. And there's Moncourt, who's opted for the extremely short goal kicks so far here today. Now lofted forward from Larby. Twos again in the mismatch, height-wise with Oscar Thomas. Like the Seljak as far as Hallam. Now in Koso. The two real speedsters of each side coming up against each other. And Koso's beat one and they'll end up bringing it back as Havinen's just about decapitated about 3 people in the front row there with that clearance. The free kick taken back towards Thomas. Harrison can't quite find that one towards Naden, and on the wind update, it's pretty consistent compared to the first half. So we'll see if the 1 goal advantage the Knights got with the wind is enough for this second half. As Harrison, twos, just trying to turn the defender. No substitutions made by either team at the half by the looks of it. Oscar Thomas copped a pretty bad bobble before he went to hit that pass. As Morton backs one towards Hallam. And Thomas, that one should bounce for him. Morton. Still going is Morton, battling away with Young. Hallam trying to use his body, and Morton outraged at that decision. Both Morton and Blommarita standing tall, almost having a stare-off with each other from close range. We'll have a look at that one again. I'll admit I had our wonderful camerawoman in the way, so I didn't quite see what was happening. And I'm still not sure on replay what was happening there. Morton here. That's not terribly happy with that decision. Hallam taking some time to get back up to his feet. Pretty gingerly is Casper Hallam. That's not a good sign. Really not able to put any body weight on that ankle so far, and pretty much all of South Hobart's bench were just casually sitting down coming back from the second half. Not warm at all. That does not look good for South's goal scorer Hallam, needing a second player to help him off the pitch. And I fear he may be going straight to the dressing room. That is Not the sight you want to see, particularly if you're a South Hobart fan, but one of the more electrifying players in the league is Nkoso. Can't pluck that one out of the air. And he's on the bench, Juju, Tay Evans, and Thomas Walpole, the outfield options for South. Kemp battling away centrally. Now Morton got 4 Knights players around him, but somehow still going, and wasn't sure if South wanted advantage there, but they've given a slice of cheese to the Magic Man, Alessandro Bellini, diving in late with the slide tackle. I was curious if the referee had let advantage go with Laka Seljak had some space out in front. The free kick given to South. Kemp clattering into the back of Muller, winning the header. The 2 number 6s going at it. Now Bowman. A good hustle from Berezanski, but it's now Naden with space to run into. And Nkoso's in plenty of room on the far side as Bellini short goes centrally. Walter off the crossbar! Alex Walter on his return to South Hobart, inches away, giving them a 2-goal lead, and it was a sweeping counter-attack from the Knights there.
Yeah, lovely stuff again. Attacking down the right here. Walter times his run, gets in between the 2 centre-backs, gets up. Pretty good technique on the volley. Just couldn't quite keep it down enough. Would have been another spectacular goal. But South survive. They'll be back up to a full complement of 11 in a moment here. Walpole coming on.
And that's Juju, that's Evans by process elimination. I'd say that's Walpole.
Yep, number 12. Strain the neck around the Darcy Street pole.
I just looked at who's left on the bench actually to save that.
Probably could just look at the monitor in front of me and probably make it easier, but yeah, it's going to be Thomas Walpole coming on. Yes. South back to 11. So Casper Hallam, unfortunately, his red hot start to the season has come to an end via injury there, but 3 goals in 2.5 games. A pretty impressive return for South Hobart speedster. Young toted away from Kemp into the middle now. Berezanski pitches one forward. Schmidt tracking back. And Koso. We want to turn and take them on. Geordie Muller. Suspicions of handball there against Nkoso, and duly paid by Plumeritis.
The free kick towards the back stick over the head of Bowman and eluding Berezanski. So not quite the shots on goal in the first 8 minutes that we had in the first half. Probably favour the Knights. Hart going for the long goal kick here into the breeze. This will be interesting to see how much this one holds up. All these teammates have gone into the opposing half, and as we can see, that's not quite going to make it. Nkoso does win it eventually. Walter climbing with Kibler, and they will give the free kick to the Knights. A chance for them to get the tall timber forward. Muller wants to take it quickly. He thought about giving it to Naden. Nearly don't want to take the free kick there for a second. It'll be the Magic Man Bellini. Low driving ball towards Walter. Kibler gets up well. And now Kemp with Muller for company. And onside is Naden. Walter was offside. And now Naden this time. Kibler using his body well, but gives it away towards Bellini. Lovely bit of skills from the Magic Man. Walter. Offside is Alex Walter. Pointing at Morton, leaving him onside. I don't think it was Morton playing him onside if he was. There's now Harrison. from Young. And Koso the likely target here, and that one's just going to hold up in the wind. Devine towards twos. Lovely flick from the youngster. Morton, Berezanski with the diagonal run, and Kobe Kemp was in an acre on the far side of the pitch. And a crucial interception from Bowman. Lovely little pass towards Muller, and his pass not so wonderful.
Yeah, right idea, just lacked the direction there as he tried to spring the king of the Andals in behind. Morton to Lakaseldiak. Oh, one back by Thomas Young, and Young will drive at Morton here and unleash with the left, but there's a fairly tepid effort in the end though from Young. It's the advantage of having someone who's so strong defensively in that kind of attacking role, can win the ball back as South now look to turn defence into attack in the blink of an eye, and Kobe Kemp's found some room out here on the left. He crosses in looking for twos. The long leg of the giraffe Oscar Thomas was there, and he's even played it back off at twos and prevent South Hobart getting a corner. So still 2-1 the score here, 1-0 the score up at Valley Road. Devonport leading Olympia. Last I checked it was 2-0 between Ulverston and 3-0 now to Olympia over Ulverston in the Women's Super League. Goals there from Bonnie Davies, Mia Kane, and an own goal. It was the Fox in the box scoring for Devonport as we head round the grounds, and again the ball just holds up in that wind. It's going to make life tough in the second half. This one will also come back the way it came. Headed by Havainen. Thomas, a little bit scrappy here at the moment. Thomas tries to clear it away. Berezanski. Now Larby looks to turn and take off down the left. And does so nicely. Still going. From the deck he managed to play it forwards, but the Knights get the bodies in the way and repel. Bellini. Only Walter ahead of him. Plenty of South Hobart shirts back, but Walter just peels off cleverly into some space, and the offside flag raised.
I was just looking at the people to the left of us in the grandstand who were directly in line, and whilst they're probably a little biased towards South Hobart, they did seem equally as perplexed by that decision.
It just didn't seem possible. Anyway, decision's been made. Play continues. Havainen combining with the substitute Walpole. His first chance to impact the contest, and it's in a cross which, stretching to defend, is the Giraffe. Poor ball there, straight to Joffrey and Koso. Havainen surely fouling him. And a pretty wise foul to give away, really, in the end.
Just preventing Koso from turning and running at his fellow teammates. Not the worst foul to give away, as you mentioned.
So half-time up at Valley Road, confirmation there. Those of you who might have been watching that stream, seems there's a few technical difficulties up there. Hopefully that'll be fixed up for the second half, but 1-0 the score at half-time there as Riley Morton defends Thomas Young, who just buys himself a free kick there, I think.
Live, I didn't think that was a foul, but it was a heavy landing, certainly, from Young. Well, Morton timed that one well as...
Oh no. Might be 1-1 at half-time. In fact, I think Olympia have pulled one back just before half-time there. So 1-1 is the score at Valley Road. Well.
It was a great game up there last year between Devonport and the Warriors. And the Fox in the box grabbing a hat-trick. One of my highlights of the games I attended last year. Real great effort from that Devonport side, but Warriors doing much better on this occasion up there as Magic Man Bellini with another set piece. I like the way Oscar Thomas is just giving himself a huge run up here as Magic Man whips it in low and hard. Cleared away by the South defence. Thomas tracking back well. Now it's Bowman staying onside while all of the Knights players. Flag stays down. Lovely little step over there from Kobe Kemp. Not quite sure what you call a group of photographers, but that's certainly what's happening in that corner of South Hobart. Ronco, I still don't think he's taken the goal kick that's gone outside the 18-yard box yet, really utilising one of the law changes from last year. It's definitely a foul by Naden. Bowman got unintentionally clattered into Pretty dangerous angle there from Larby, but gets back to his feet. Much like last week after that interesting head collision with the KG5 pitch. Kobe Kemp. As far as Morton.
No, he's seen him a couple of times now. The only games we've had problems with.
That one's cleared by the Knights defence, so just hitting the hour mark here at Darcy Street. No real clear-cut chances for either side in the second half.
All the other games have been fine.
Muller using his body well.
So confirmation it is 1-1. There was a goal right before half-time scored by Olympia. So that going on out of Valley Road.
A lot going on indeed as that one's flicked forward by South. Young, that's handball, surely. No, not given. There's probably claiming self-defence there, but for anyone who follows the Premier League, I think that rule's just about gone out the window with some of the decisions recently. Pavinen. Walpole trying to find space for a cross, and South get a corner. Done well given he was running in the wrong direction there, the substitute. Being lack of Selchuk to take. Knights with the slightly taller timbers. This one's lofted in towards the back post, rising high with Kibler, waiting for the advantage as the referee, but none given towards Bellini, and that one will definitely come back for a free kick. Lockhart directly into the sun and getting a bit more purchase on that one than he has previously. Falls to Muller. Walter. Did he receive a clip in the back? He did. So another free kick in a promising position for the Magic Man. The amount of set piece chances here the Knights have had, they've surely got to find a teammate soon. Still continuing to push the tall timber up. Bellini. Over this one, goes towards Thomas, cleared by Kemp. Muller rising high and clattering into the back of Selchuk, who wins the free kick. And some of the Knights substitutes warming up in front of us in the grandstand here. As Bowman just whacks that one into the face of Berezanski. That one nearly hitting our esteemed photographer, hiding in front of the black mesh there. So throw in into the 80 box. It's Twos trying to flick it on. Twos trying to get it back. Morton there as well. Walpole gets a foot to it. Now in Koso. Up against Tuvinen. Twos with the back heel. That's South ball. No, it's going to go towards the Knights. Goal scorer Connor Schmidt. Still in play. It's Harrison likes not to head it back towards the keeper. It's Twos. Gets around Muller and gets around Young. Like a Selchuk. Now Twos. Like looking towards the back post where Kemp had peeled off. Kibler given straight back to Naden on a yellow card here. Kibler, play allowed to go on. Alex Walter, 3v3, and Koso waits. He goes for the shot himself, and given the amount of space Joffrey and Koso was in at this back post, I'm not sure if that was the wisest decision from the Knights striker. Seljack dropping really deep to collect this one. Now Walpole leaves it for Havainen. Oscar Thomas. As far as Morton, who's crowded out by some Knights defenders. Well, this one's set for Nkoso. He can just keep it in, and now turns on the Jets. Joffrey Nkoso, 3 South players around him, and eventually numbers turn into South's favour. Muller for Walter. As Naden out wide. Kibler nibbling at his heels. That cross over the top of the goal in Muncore. So 65 minutes gone, and great chances for either side here in this second half, which should probably go to the Knights' favour. 2-1 in front. South now trying to attack down the left-hand side through Larby. Gets it to Lakaseljack. Naden. Good hustle there from Bradley Lakaseljack. Now Larby. It's played off a South player, and Bowman will elect to leave it run out for a throw.
Yeah, not quite as wide open in this half of the game. Just maybe a few tiring legs out there. Here's Walter. Good work from Nick Morton working back defensively. Now Connor Schmidt. A little sloppy there was Schmidt. Kobe Kemp. Just an ugly up and under from Lakaseljack. In the end, the lateral works all right though to Morton. The players just with a little bit more time on the ball at the moment. Knights just easing off on the pressing in the defensive half at any rate. And Koso nips in ahead of Walpole. Muller, Schmidt. Now Morton again. South through the middle, but straight to Tyler Harrison. Geordie Muller. Pull ball in the end straight to Riley Morton. Kobe Kemp swings this one across. Berezanski looking to take on Bowman. He gets the better of him, but Bowman recovered well, blocked the shot nicely.
Ball there from Bowman apparently, but these days when you go sliding in like that with the stud slightly high, it's always a nervous moment as Havainen looks up and takes the shot, but goes harmlessly wide from Havainen. Great to see up at Devonport. They've got that half-time kicking competition. Hasn't been fallen foul of COVID too.
Great to see some vision from Devonport, Paul. Yeah, the strain dropped out there for the final 15 minutes, but seems like that's been sorted, thankfully. But yeah, big fan of the half-time entertainment they roll out at Valley Road. Do match days very well up there at the Portress. And yes, as our producer points out, excellent chips and gravy, a real appeal. As this one's just chipped into the midfield. Nick Naden did really well there, and now storming forward, charging into the box is Naden. He tries to work it back. Is that handball? Would have been a harsh goal. Sherman, fair to say he wanted it. Nothing doing. Morton, he turns. Great sliding challenge. Geordie Muller won it back well. Good scrap between Nkoso and Morton. And Nkoso showing some fancy footwork and draws the free kick in the end. Well done, Joffrey Nkoso. As the heat just rising back up in this game after a slight lull we've had in the last 10 minutes or so. But free kick opportunity here for the Knights to go to work as Samson Juju being prepped on the bench. So some fresh legs being ready for South. Looks like he's about to come on imminently, but they'll defend this set piece first. It's Nkoso standing over the dead ball this time. So Bellini taking the bulk of them in the first half. There's Stranos just having a few words with Tom Young and Riley Morton there.
Riley Morton probably giving Tom Young some hairstyling tips there about where to cut that hair. They both got a similar length.
As Geordie Muller has just come over the sideline clutching a hamstring, so that's it's not ideal for the Knights. Is that Backhouse who's just run on to replace him? Yeah, Ryan Backhouse has come on, so a switch has been made by Knights ahead of South. Juju was all ready to go, but Backhouse has slid on in as And Koso punches a very threatless ball straight at Mark Moncourt. I think Bellini will be back on set piece duties after that one.
Yeah, probably in Koso's argument of you've had 15 and we haven't scored, let me have one. That's not gone so well. That was probably the worst free kick of the day. As that sub will now be made. Samson Juju coming on for South. And it'll be Sam Twos coming off. Well, Juju usually playing on a wing and Twos playing through the middle. We'll see if they shuffle that around to South. And by the looks of it, Walpole has gone to centre forward and Juju out to the wing. Bowman finds Naden, turning and trying to find Joffrey and Koso. Trying to get around Larby, who sticks to his task well. Looks like it's Thomas Young moving to that defensive mid position. Another one that, you'd almost consider it nearly his best position. With Jordy Muller in the team, is allowed to push forward a bit more. And Naden dropping centrally is in Koso. The crowded box can't get out. And now South. Walpole can't keep a touch on it, and that one's going to go over the head. There's a first touch for Backhouse. Vinan to run at. Bobbly surface down there at Darcy Street, and he wins a throw for his side. He'll defer for Schmidt to take. Naden and Bellini options as well, and goes to Backhouse. Now Schmidt gets around Juju, drops the step over. Vinan still going. And Vinan cleans up well. Disappointing ball, only finds Young. Kibler whacks it forward to Walpole. Great long cross-range ball, finds Morton. Walpole's in the centre. Morton keeps it in. Oscar stands him up, goes towards the back post, and that's casual. Shot on goal, eventually cleared by the Knights. And a foul will be called as they have a player down, but that was one of the more casual clearances from Tom Young I've ever seen.
Yeah, a little bit too casual perhaps, as we see this one punched in there, the little back heel. Well, there probably wasn't too much more he could do. In the end, they had enough numbers back to steer it away, and the free kick will just allow them to reset a little bit as we approach the final 20 minutes or so of this game. And a 2-1 lead the Knights are protecting. Can they hold on and get the job done here? South looking for a late push. They've got fresh legs in attack. Walpole and Juju. Nick Morton starting to bob up in some more attacking spots too. So where will this one go from Hart? Kicking into that strong wind. Does pretty well to get some purchase on it. Flicked on by Seljak. Oh, missed clearance by Kibler. Lets in Alex Walter now. Brings it under his spell and fires a shot that's well blocked by Riley Morton. Stuck with him. The former teammates would have been well accustomed to defending Alex Walter. Dare say they've had more than a few scraps on the training track down the journey. But former South attacker against South Hobart defender. Yes. Knights. Can they find the third goal? Go ahead and just about secure this one. Well done, Seljak. Store it away. Tom Young. Vinan thumping that one forward. Not a bad option with the wind. Connor Schmidt tracking back. And he keep this one in play. He bends it back around. Vinan up against Backhouse. The sub looking to make an impact, but he's got away with that one, and the South faithful aren't happy. Straight off his leg, play on the call. Bellini tips to the back post. Joffrey and Koso. And perhaps a little bit of justice. The stands would have just flooded the field if they'd scored from that, I reckon.
If they scored from that, it would be a not very social distancing riot on the field, I fear.
Well, it was quite blatantly straight off Backhouse last. Probably a good thing it happened in front of the Knights bench, not the South bench. There'd have been chairs flying everywhere, I reckon. Anyway, South Hobart. 15 minutes to try and find a leveller here. We've seen many a late show down the journey, and that's off the hands, I thought, of Young. Pretty close to his body though, perhaps a natural position adjudicated there. That shot smacked into him from close range.
There's the corner coming in. Low, and that's nearly an home goal from Connor Schmidt. Made sure he had his hands behind his back, but maybe could have directed that header a bit better. Good, the fullback. And it's right on to the crossbar of his own team as they'll have another opportunity. This one with more air on it. Over the top, back post, and Morton has not put that one in. He's claiming it took a nick right in front of him, which would make sense as to why he's missed that. Because that from this angle here in the grandstand looked like it was going right on his forehead. And it will be a goal kick. As we have another look at that one, I thought that was going to nestle in the bottom corner. Morton's peeled off. And yeah, if the Knights player hasn't got a touch on that, that's got to go down as a miss by the glorious mullet of Riley Morton. His heart, after about 4 or 5 great goal kicks, has knocked that one right into the South Hobart bench. Here's Huvine takes the throw in short. Juju. Backhouse clears. Walter chasing this one down. Now it's Bellini. Trying to get the spin to work in his favour, and he does now. Cutting inside. And he's just going around in circles, is Bellini. He's still got hold of the ball, though, and is surely fouled from Kemp. And slice of cheese coming out there for Kobe Kemp, who's still standing his ground in a rather theatrical performance. Now another set piece for the Knights. Sherman using this time to dish out some instructions. And Bellini has resumed free kick duty of Joffrey Nkosa.
Yeah, I think a fair enough decision, that one. Bellini's been pretty dangerous over the dead ball. He opts to take this one quickly to back house. Charged down by Juju. And South clear through Huvine. Schmidt pressing up, but straight off the arm of the Knights fullback.
Wouldn't quite describe that one as a natural position from Schmidt. And surprised they still didn't manage to get the ball into the box there, the Knights, as that one right onto the head of Oscar Thomas. Balls to Kemp. Still got it as Kobe Kemp, looking for Berezanski, who's been a bit quieter in this second half than the first. No foul given against Bellini, and now Juju. Chance to run at Schmidt. Well charged down from the defender. It's a corner for South. Certainly towards this end of the ground at this time of the game, they tend to come home with a wet sail. Would not put it past them to get an equaliser. It's the Morthog over this one as a ball just annoyingly knocks his ball out of the way as soon as he's about to take that corner kick. Morton lofted ball towards the back post, but that one, real wasted opportunities. He put his head in his hands, Morton. Knows he can do better with that one. And his Hart gets a lot better purchase on this one. The appreciation of his bench as Nkosa holds it up well. Gets around one, tries to beat Kemp again, and just about does, but eventually enough South bodies are over there. There's Kibler. Plays it to Morton.
So if there's one knock on Nkosa's game, maybe he tries to do a bit too much at times. I don't think he really need to go back and beat him again there. But ever the showman, just decided to go again. He's such a threat though. Each time he gets on the ball, something's likely to happen. He's worked hard in attack today. Perhaps tiring a little later on in this one as Riley Morton sweeps it across to the fresh legs of Juju against Connor Schmidt. Back into the middle, and Tom Young takes over. really see a lot he likes, so just chipped it forward and said, go chase that, Alex Walter. And he did so, but Kibler always in control and then just falling over each other there. Kibler and Walter. One back by Backhouse. Plays the 1-2 with Nick Naden. Now Backhouse. Clever little ball for Bellini. Lofts it in for Walter! 3-1! Alex Walter. Well, their goals have been at the highest quality today, Glenorchy Knights, and had another one there. Bellini with a deft little ball. Walter runs onto it. Perfection. 3-1 Knights.
I love that assist from Alessandro Bellini. Just sized up his option. Walter peeled off the centre back again, much like he did for a chance earlier. And look at that. Bellini just looks up, sees he's got 5 yards of space, and that is put on an absolute dime for Alex Walter. Chooses not to celebrate against his former side, but I think his coach and his teammates did all the celebrating for him. And 3-1 Knights, and it will take some comeback here from South. The second half has been played at a style that would suit the Knights more. And they deservedly go ahead as there is a sub being made. Tay Evans about to come on, and Berezanski coming off. It does look like Evans is going to go over to that left wing position. South now look to throw the kitchen sink at Knights as Backhouse whacks that one clear. And Koso tracking back well. Morton reading the play, looking up, and there's just a wall of black shirts in front of him. There as Morton claimed that one in the centre circle. As Harrison clears that one into touch, and not impossible for South, but I do think it's an uphill battle.
They're going to be tough now. The Knights look to try and see this one out. Morton charging, blasting from range. Easy pickings for Hart though. And going to need to conjure a little bit better than that if they're going to pull back this 2-goal deficit. Lockie Hart. It'll be prime time-wasting opportunities now. They'll lead up every second they can as he goes looking for Backhouse. So it's the secondary assist on that previous goal, so an impact for him. Nice little 1-2 with Naden in the build-up. Always good to have options off the bench. Ryan Backhouse was a player in the Summer Cup, really caught the eyes. Someone to look out for. Going back a fair way now, seems a year ago that one, before the COVID times, but yeah, certainly one who I think could have an impact this season. Ryan Backhouse is Walter the target of this throw. He's been good again today, Alex Walter. He turns and controls well, looking for Joffrey and Koso. Koso, he's it back to Bowman. Oh, Darcy though, caught out by Evans and out of play. No threat. Wants to take it quickly here. Tyler Harrison, I wouldn't have thought be in any real rush to get that ball off the pitch.
Captain just leading by example there with the time wasting. As Juju's come over with a blood rule towards the south bench, so they're down to 10 at the moment. Trying to do some social distancing, holding the nose there on the south bench. It's quite a unique look. And as he'll now go off for some slightly better treatment there, Samson Juju. Play allowed to resume. Bowman towards Bellini. Now in Koso. Bellini with a lovely bit of control and finds in Koso. There's players over here. It's Naden, and it's the slow dribbler that nearly caught out the experienced keeper. Went down early, but not quite enough happening there as Morton beaten by Backhouse. Now Walter. And Koso and offside in his Backhouse. No real complaints about that decision. Like a Selchek. Calmly back to Morton, who just fires it into the feet of Walter. It's in Koso, running against Kibler. Drops the step over, and Koso straight at the keeper. And nearly could have absolutely put that one out of sight, could the king of the handles.
Yeah, they're looking good for a fourth here at the moment, Knights, as Naden came in strongly, but Tavina did really well to keep hold of the ball. And then looks to charge 4-2 here, the fullback. It's kitchen sink time. That was not so elegant, however. Straight out of play, 5.5 to go. So currently the score's tied up at Valley Road. And with Knights looking to make it 2 from 3, they'll be firmly up there. Win today would see them joining South Hobart on 6 points. Going with a live ladder type style, it's Devonport on 7, but nearly back down to 6 as the Warriors hit the side netting there. We've got both streams going on ahead of us here, but looking at very even competition. But I guess what I'm building to is, from what we've seen across the opening rounds, I certainly think they're absolutely in the conversation, but Knights as title fancies, Bunty, your thoughts?
Yeah, there were talks about them sort of, third, fourth with, Devonport, Olympia South, the ones ahead of them, but they've certainly proven that they're the goods. As Kemp with a nice bit of skill fires it into the feet of Harrison, wants a free kick and not getting one on this occasion, as Walter's going to hold the ball up well. Backhouse gets on the move. Walter could do it all himself. There's a good 7 players back now for South, and they'll move forward. But yeah, just to finish that off, I do think they've kind of progressed from that kind of second tier wild card to genuine favourite, I think, over these 2 weeks, especially if they can hold on here for 5 more minutes, beating South at Darcy Street. Not something teams do often. So, and with that defence solidified, with Harrison coming back and putting in a good performance, I certainly think they have to be.
Just quality across the park.
Yeah.
In the team, there's just quality players at every position. And the performances have been good. Even week 1, they lost to Kingborough, but certainly created plenty of chances. They would have won the XG battle in that one. I think they missed about 3 headers from 4 yards out that one. So, look, they're firmly in the mix as Bellini chips it through. Walter was offside anyway. But Bellini pulling the strings in midfield, and some pretty handy forwards ahead of him thriving on that service. It's all looking pretty good so far for Sherman and his men.
I do think the acquisition of Koso's maybe just put them slightly over the edge too, as he just brings so much experience and quality. As that one's not going to be given against Naden. Kemp going across to Tay Evans, trying to get around Bowman. He does fire the cross him, and that's going harmlessly out. And yeah, with another factor that's playing into it is the lack of import keepers as well, I think will help. As Lockie Hart, without those kind of, we've seen over the past teams with import keepers have tended to keep a lot more clean sheets, but with pretty much none in the league this year and just a lot of young Tasmanian keepers, it is prime for someone like Lockie Hart to step up. We've seen his saves already today being of good quality.
That one he made early on with the left glove save, that was real top quality. Could be an important one too, but had a rough week 1, but he's bounced back strongly with his last 2 performances, Lockie Hart. And the Knights will be fairly happy. I feel pretty good about having him in net as Nick Naden runs off there. Quite catch who came on to replace him.
It'll be Harry Anderson, I assume. No, Cade Smith is the only one, so I had a 50-50 and lost there. Bit unfortunate.
So Cade Smith on as South desperately trying to find something late here away. Oscar Thomas is looking like going to be a pretty happy return for that quartet of South players. Schmidt, Thomas, and Bowman at the back have been solid down there, and Alex Walter's been outstanding leading the line today. They've just given up a little easily here though, the Knights, so they'll win it back, and Bellini will find Walter. Smith, eager to make an impact, makes a bursting run down the right. Oh, just losing his footing with Larby. Big chance here for the substitute. It's Smith. It's a good save from Moncourt. And then really well defended from the ground by Kibler. Good recovery from the American there. Here's Walter. The Knights definitely want a 4th here. That's comfortable enough for Moncourt. So we enter the final minute of regulation here. And it's looking like the Knights are going to win this one. Will they find a 4th? They're looking the more likely to do the scoring at the end here.
Yeah, they certainly are, as well. We're last chance live on air for a quick around the grounds from our voice. Still 3-0 over at Warrior Park in the Women's Super League. That game going to close up roughly the same time as this one, and it's 1-1 in the 60th minute up at Valley Road, Devonport Olympia. So providing the video holds up, I recommend tuning into that one before the 4:30 games start, as that one's whipped in. Header, surely it's a handball on the ground, and that one has been given by the referee. And that one will, yeah, the good thing about that delay, it's given a nice gap between here and the 4:30 kickoffs. So timed well, Valley Road, unintentionally.
Of course, 2 more games you can catch kicking off at 4:30. Kingborough travelling over to the Jungian. They'll play the Clarence Zebras, Wentworth Park, and the big Launceston rivalry. You've got the Guardian Pharmacies Cup in action this week. New trophy up for grabs, just adding extra fuel to the Riverside Launceston City fixture. And having minted a couple of those ones last year, already plenty of fuel on that fire, I assure you. 2 teams don't really like each other, which is always what you want in a derby. Scopey Kemp, Bellini somehow came up with it and then slid it through for Walter. Walter for number 4. Moncourt stands up. He's been good again today, Moncourt. And he shut that one down. Walter kicking himself at missing the chance for a goal there. Morton will get the free kick, but he's not going to get the result he was after today. The Knights have really announced themselves in the past couple of the weeks. We've got a very even-looking NPL competition this year. Make no mistake, Glenorchy Knights have announced themselves as firm title contenders. South looking to pull one back here late. It's a good-looking ball, but Backhouse came in, saw it away. Over the fence it goes, so imagine there'll be a couple of minutes of added time. Goals, but even a heap of stoppages in the second half, as I think Devonport have just taken the lead at Valley Road. That looks like Brodie Dennehy has put the Strikers 2-1 up over Olympia. So, as it stands, they would be 3 points clear on top of the table.
Would remain the only undefeated team in the league, should that one hold up. As this game winds down, Rocky Hart has spent most of this second half not being terribly quick with his goal kicks. That one, and Koso gets a head on, like a cell check. Oscar Thomas just doing his best not to go in the back of Walpole there. That is full time here at Darcy Street. The away fans very happy here in the grandstand. It's the Glenorchy Knights running out 3-1 winners over South Hobart. South's undefeated start to the season comes to an end. Some fine goals, especially some ex-South Hobart players coming back to haunt their former club. But overall, I've got to say, I reckon Knights probably deserved that victory on the balance of play. They had a great first half with the wind, and then did well just to contain the match here in the second half. As a much brighter time than it was nearly an hour ago. It was Bellini that put him ahead. For mine, just about the player of the match, Alessandro Bellini. The goal and the assist that we'll see later on, both just as good as each other. It was Casper Hallam, who unfortunately had to go off injured early in the second half. Got South back on level terms. They did have a good 10 to 15 minute spell there at the back half of the first half. But really, besides that, Knights definitely shading this one, as it was Nkoso's step overs leading to Connor Schmidt against his former club coming up and scoring the second. That was half time. And then a slightly more dour second half, sparked into life by Alessandro Bellini's delightful assist for Alex Walter, choosing not to celebrate against his former club. And that wraps it up here, as just as I was running through those goals, it's now 2-2 up at Devonport Olympia. So please, if you're after more NPL Taz action, that one is turning into a humdinger. So switch over to that one, as from Darcy Street, 3-1 Knights, and see you again next time.